fans. Welcome to the show. My name is Scott Radley. I'm with the Hamilton Spectator and 900 CHML. The guy with the lush gray hair, that's Steve Milton from the Hamilton Spectator, sports columnist. Below him, wearing the very patriotic garb today, Rick Zamperin from 900 CHML. And below me, Bubba O'Neill from CHCH TV Sports. Guys, it is the day for the 1 minute debate. Here is how the 1 minute debate works. I am going to give guys a topic. They are going to have a minute to make their case. Very simple, not many rules. And today the topic was suggested by Bubba O'Neill. So he is going to be on the clock first. And his brilliant idea, and I'm not saying that sarcastically, it's a great idea. It's a great discussion point. What is the best duo in sports history? The best duo. There's lots of them, guys that were 1 and 1A on their teams or wherever else. Doesn't have to be on teams if you want to really branch out. What are the best duos in sports history? Bubba O'Neill, you are on the clock first in 1 minute. In 3, 2, 1, begin.
Talk about pressure. Hey, if you're familiar with social media, you're used to seeing this. You know what that is? That is Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. I mean, you're taking a look at one of the top the top tight end to touch to quarterback relationship we've ever seen. And I think obviously we don't need to go on and on about Tom Brady. And of course, he's the GOAT, 7 Super Bowl championships, 10 appearances. We could go on and on about him. But Rob Gronkowski, to me, still that old school tight end. And we got guys like Kelsey, and you go on and on, guys that are, basically blown up wide receivers that don't do a lot of blocking. Gronkowski does the blocking, he does the catching, and he goes in for the touchdown. And he's got an incredible charisma as well, too. So you take a look at the duo that those two have put together. You're talking about 4 Super Bowl championships, and they lead the league all time in touchdown receptions, quarterback to receiver, if you want to call him tight end. Actually, tight end, that's the biggest, the leading category between tight end and quarterback, and it's getting close to being all-time if you add in the receivers as well too. So you take a look at the championships, you take a look at the yardage and production. Gronkowski to Brady to Gronkowski, number 1 in my opinion.
Recent and relevant, no question, front of mind. Well done. All right, I mean that's a hard one to argue with, but we're going to. That's the whole point of this thing. We're going to. Rick Zamperin, you are up next. You got 1 minute. In 3, 2, 1, begin.
So, there's a lot of great sports duos out there, but I think I'm wearing this shirt for a reason, because the number 1 sports duo, and we saw it at Old Cops Coliseum, was Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. Dominated the 1987 Canada Cup ice hockey tournament, beating Russia in that best-of-3 final. Of course, the iconic goal, Gretzky to Lemieux. These two guys were at the top of their game. Gretzky was 26, 27. Lemieux just starting to feel, that he was going to be one of the, next iconic figures on the ice. He was just 21. These two guys on the same team, and I think this was the only time they played together internationally, absolutely were incredible. And it showed, because Canada was dominant in that tournament because of these two, arguably 2 of the best hockey players in the world and forever on the same team, unstoppable.
Limited participation.
Yeah, but you know what's an amazing thing, and I wrote about this a while back, and it always stuns me. You've got Henderson's goal against Russia, you've got Sidney Crosby's golden goal in Vancouver, and I would argue Gretzky and Lemieux, and you can put those in whatever order you want, although I don't think you can put anyone above Henderson, but the other 2 can be 1 or 1A, since we're talking about duos. There is nothing in display in First Ontario Centre and Cops Coliseum marking that thing happened there, which to me has always been a mistake. It's always been an oversight. How is there not a banner, a portrait, a picture, a something that shows that happened on this site? That to me is a giant whiff.
If and when that place gets done again, it's suddenly got. And Scott, you've done a really nice job writing about all of that stuff, and we got to get all of that stuff back in, because the stuff, and I wrote about it this week about that place, about the 4 Minute Mile. Everybody forgets about it, and what a brilliant thing that was there. So yeah, you're 100% right. It's good crusade.
All
Good
right,
point.
Steve, you got a minute. Best duo in
A minute.
sports.
Wait a minute now. You guys have heard the thing that time goes as fast as the age you are. I'm the oldest guy here, so time
All
goes
right.
faster for me, right?
So Steve's got 7 minutes to make his case. No, he's got a minute. In 3, 2, 1, begin.
Well, I put my stopwatch on here to have a look at it. I want to, I'll go back a little farther than you two guys to about 94 years ago to 1927. And the number 4 hitter for the New York Yankees had 107 RBIs, but he had 60 at bats that season in which he had no chance except to drive in anybody else but himself, because in front of him, Babe Ruth had hit 60 home runs. Between the two of them, they got something like 350 RBIs. I'm not sure if that's the year, if it was the next year, but Gehrig had 100 RBIs on the road. So those two guys together, and the 60, it stood forever. It's still an iconic number, 60 home runs. Who won the MVP that year? Gehrig. Because of those 175, he had 47 home runs himself, like an incredible, like 0.50 or 478 on base percentage. He was, they won 6 championships together. And even though he wasn't as an all-round player, he really wasn't a great defensive player. The two of them together, I just don't see how anybody beats that when you take the completeness of it. And there's some pretty good teams that they were playing against. You think that they walked through those leagues, but there was 2 or 3 really good teams in the American League, and whoever came out of the National League was always really, really good. There was only 16 teams playing, of course, at the time, about half what they are today. But I'm going to go with them because of their iconicness of it, and because it came during the 20s, before the crash. It was part of the Roaring 20s.
Steve, when I said 7 mintes, I was kidding. It's still the 1 minute debate.
Oh, I just saw the 44-second part, and I didn't see the 1. I was adding
Ruth and Gehrig.
I thought I was padding and getting close.
Ruth and Gehrig were monsters. Murderer's Row. Those guys were
Murderer's Row, exactly.
Yeah, that was Murderer's Row. I slaughtered it. God.
All right, here we go. I'll try to keep it to a minute. Although here we go, 3, 2, 1. I really had a hard time with this one because of a couple of them. One of them I considered was Maris and Mantle, although that was one unbelievable year. So I'm going to pass on that one. The duo that I think were the most dominant, most unbelievable were Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar back in the 80s with the Lakers, because they were so different and yet they could do some things that were the same. Kareem was unstoppable with the skyhook. Magic could play every position. In fact, when Kareem went down in his first finals, Magic stepped in and played center, played all 5 positions in those finals and won. And you can make a case, and there are those who didn't like the Lakers, that Larry Bird and Kevin McHale may be the best duo, which is amazing because those were the two that were butting against each other all the time. But just stylistically and the way they worked together and the way that they created Showtime and the fast break and everything else, I'm going to go with Kareem and Magic. And yes, in high school, I did have the LA Lakers purple, yellow, and white shoes to play basketball, and even though our team wore blue. So didn't match, but looked cool-ish.
Shaq and Kobe. Wow.
Shaq and Kobe. There's a lot of them. I mean, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, if you want to go down that way.
Well, on hoops, I would have gone with the original great duo, which is Cousy and Russell.
Cousy and Russell could have been it. Now,
because they set the templates for the league, point guard and big man. That's the template for they started in 54-5 or something together, and they won 6.
How Stockton and Malone, kind of the same kind of dynamic, right?
Yeah.
No championships, though.
No championships.
Yeah.
This one, and only one championship.
The one we're forgetting, Hulk Hogan and Iron Mike Sharp.
Right.
Canada's greatest athlete from Hamilton, Ontario.
Stop that.
And I was joking with you guys last night on text about the first Bulldogs AHL team with Bonvie and the goalie Passmore. But there's one that I'd like to just
throw out there. Larock.
Yeah. I'd like to throw one little thing out there, and that is it's overlooked. Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell.
Yeah. Detroit Tigers.
20 years as a double play combination. 20 years. Now they only won the one championship, maybe the greatest team of the 80s, actually.
84.
In terms of, and starting 35-5 or whatever it was, right? So and playing together 20 years in positions that are very, very active, setting each other up, one setting the other for the Hall of Fame, the other will get in on the Veterans Committee within a few years. So
what do you think? Which is the best duo of all time? Comment down below. You can choose one of ours, or you can come up with your own. There's lots more out there. We'd love to hear from you. Comment down below, subscribe. We will talk to you soon.